Dear English literature and language learners, আজকের আলোচনায় থাকবে লিঙ্কার্স, ট্রানজিশনস, ডিসকোর্স মার্কার্স। এই বিষয়টা হচ্ছে ডেভেলপিং রাইটিং স্কিলসের উপরে যে সমস্ত প্রশ্ন হয় তার মধ্যে পূর্ববর্তী দুইটা ভিডিওতে আমি এর উপর আলোচনা করেছি। এখন আলোচনা করছি একই বিষয়ের উপরে, মানে ডেভেলপিং রাইটিং স্কিলসের উপরে লিঙ্কার্স, ট্রানজিশনস আর ডিসকোর্স মার্কার্সের উপরে যে সমস্ত প্রশ্ন হয় তার একটা সাজেশন ধরে এটার উত্তরগুলি বলছি। তাহলে প্রথমেই হোয়াট ডু মিন বাই লিঙ্কার্স। লিঙ্কার্স বলতে আমরা কি বুঝি? লিঙ্কার্স আর ওয়ার্ডস or phrases that we use to link or connect or join ideas. আইডিয়াগুলো জয়েন করতে আমরা যে সমস্ত ওয়ার্ড বা ফ্রেজ ব্যবহার করি সেগুলোকেই লিঙ্কার্স বলে। আচ্ছা, এখানে দুইটা সেন্টেন্স দেওয়া হচ্ছে, ইট ওয়াজ রেইনিং এবং আই স্টেড অ্যাট হোম। এখন লিঙ্কার্স দিয়ে যদি প্রকাশ করি তাহলে কীরকম হয়? ইন দিস এক্সাম্পল উই ক্যান সি দ্যাট দ্য ফার্স্ট আইডিয়া, ইট ওয়াজ রেইনিং, is the reason for the second idea. Second idea reason হচ্ছে first idea টা, I stayed at home, or I stayed at home is the result of it was raining. We can use linkers such as so or therefore to make the relationship between the two ideas clear. It was raining so I stayed at home, অথবা it was raining therefore I stayed at home. We could also change the order and put the result before the reason and use a linker such as because. আমরা because দিয়েও linker প্রকাশ করতে পারি। I stayed at home because it was raining. The linkers so, because and therefore show a relationship of reason and result or cause and effect. এরপরে আসা যাক পরের প্রশ্ন, what are transitions? Transitions are words and phrases that provide a connection between ideas, sentences, and paragraph. Transitions help to make a piece of writing flow better. They can turn disconnected piece of ideas into a unified whole and prevent a reader from getting lost in the storyline. Since the goal of a writer is to convey information clearly and concisely, transitions help achieve that aim by providing a logical connection between one or more sections of a piece of writing. Transitions usually work best when used to link one paragraph to the next and are usually found at the beginning of the paragraph, although they can be used anywhere when needed. Some examples of transition words or phrases include another key point, indeed, in fact, first thing to remember, on the negative side, on the positive side. Why are discourse markers needed in writing? Discourse markers টা কেন দরকার লিখে? Discourse markers are the words or expressions that link, manage, and help to organize sentences. They connect what is written or said with something else. They make no change to the meaning. They are also often called linking words and sometimes fillers. They are important to make your speech or text flow and to avoid a series of short unconnected statements. Discourse markers can be placed in any part of a sentence, including the beginning. We use different types of discourse markers for different types of links: informal markers for speech and formal type of markers for formal writing, such as essays and reports. Discourse markers are important for fluency in English at an advanced level. They are important elements of the speech and writing for living and working in English-speaking countries. We use different discourse markers in speaking and writing. In speaking, the following discourse markers are very common. Anyway, like, right, fine, now, so, I mean, good, oh, well, as I say, great, okay, mind you, for a start. In writing, the following discourse markers are common. Firstly, in addition, moreover, on the other hand. Secondly, in conclusion, on the other hand, to begin with. Thirdly, in sum, ইত্যাদি. Discourse markers do not always have meanings that you will find in your dictionary. However, they do have certain functions, and some discourse markers, such as well, can have a number of functions. Give a list of sentence connectors or connectors using in sentences. Connectors নিয়ে এখন প্রশ্নটা sentence connectors কাকে বলে? Connectors are used to link large groups of words, phrases, and sentences. You can use them to connect paragraphs to give them coherence. Sentence connectors are usually placed at the beginning of a sentence and may be categorized as follows. Contrast. However, this restaurant has the best kitchen in town. However, their staffs are quite rude. Number 2, in contrast. House prices have gone up this year. In contrast, car prices seem to be stagnating. Number 3, nevertheless. I was in so much pain, I did not want to get up in the morning. Nevertheless, I went to football practice as usual. Number 4, nonetheless. I don't think CN has serious behavioral problems. Nevertheless, I'll talk to him first thing in the morning. Number 5, yet. I've asked you 1,000 times not to leave your dirty socks on the floor, yet you keep doing it. Number 6, on the other hand, England has the best language schools. On the other hand, it has the worst weather. Number 7, by comparison, going out with Jim has its risks. By comparison, being with Tim is as easy as falling off a log. Number 8, on the contrary, I don't hate Jim. On the contrary, I'm rather fond of him. Number 9, instead. I do not want to take a side in the argument. Instead, I put my headphones on and listen to some smooth jazz. Number 10, in any case, I was thinking of going round Jim's place. In any case, I haven't been invited. Number 11, all the same. Yes, he's very good looking, all the same. I don't think you should go out with him. এগুলো সব একই মিনিং আছে, contrast. তারপরে similarity. Likewise, number 1, you can't give your phone number to every man who asks for it. Likewise, you can't go out with everyone who fancies you. Number 2, similarly, you are not allowed to use your phone here. Similarly, you have to switch it off when you are in the library. Number 3, correspondingly, she is an excellent photographer. Correspondingly, her paintings are works of art. Number 4, in the same way, cutting down on sugar will help you lose weight. In the same way, doing more exercise will help you get rid of a few kilos. Number 5, also, I want to talk to Prince Harry when I am in England. Also, I want to meet his sister-in-law. এখন রেজাল্ট প্রকাশ করার মতো যে কানেক্টরসগুলো সেগুলো বলছি। Number 1, as a result, I have done an animal healing course. As a result, I've been able to cure my neighbor's sick cat. Number 2, as a consequence, Jack has skipped school on many occasions. As a consequence, he has failed his French test. Number 3, therefore, we are going to experience some meteor showers in the next few days. Therefore, the number of miraculous self-healings will rise. Number 4, thus, you didn't tell me you wanted to come. Thus, we ought to be taking you with us. Number 5, accordingly, plenty of tourists visit the area in summer. Accordingly, selling handmade objects is the main source of income for locals. Sequencing বা সিকোয়েন্স বুঝাই এরকম কানেক্টরসগুলো এখন বলছি। Number 1, firstly, first of all, in the first place. First of all, I would like to talk about the benefits of having a pet pig. Number 2, to begin with, pet pigs are cleaner than dogs. Number 3, for one thing, For one thing, they are completely loyal to their owners. Number four, secondly, in the second place. Secondly, their impressive numeracy skills must be mentioned. Number five, you might want to consider how cute they look in pajamas. Number six, thirdly, in the third place. In the third place, you can always count on your pet pig to perform some tricks for you when you'd like to impress a pretty girl. Number seven, also, they don't eat much. Number eight, besides not eating much, they won't ever chew on your electric cords. Number nine, in addition, they can be taught to feed themselves if you allow them access to your pantry. Number 10, furthermore, they make wonderful walking buddies. Number 11, moreover, they will show you the way home when you are drunk. Number 12, finally, pet pigs are fantastic birds. No burglar would ever have the heart to hurt a pet pig. Number 13, last of all. Lastly, your reputation as an eccentric will rapidly grow in the neighborhood if you are seen walking a pet pig on a leash every morning. Order are of importance এটার উপর ভিত্তি করে যে সমস্ত লিঙ্কার্স আছে সেটা বলছি 1. Most importantly, I'd like to talk to you about how to keep calm at your workplace. Most importantly, never go to the canteen while your boss is there. Number 2, primarily, you will have to focus on your immediate surroundings, primarily on your computer screen. Number 3, above all, don't ever look up from your notes when people are around. Number 4, most significantly, avoid eye contact at all costs. Number 5, basically, usually spoken, English ব্যবহৃত হয়. How can I put this? Essentially, having an affair with one of your colleagues should be the last thing on your mind. Particularization. Number 1, in particular or particularly. Nearly a third of marriages end in divorce. In particular, it's middle-aged couples that yearn for much more from life. Number 2, more specifically, couples tend to argue about financial issues. More specifically, they argue when one of them is out of work. Exemplification. For example, to solve this problem, you might want to try making small gestures. For example, making your spouse's favorite meal for dinner or giving him a massage after a tiring day. Number 2, for instance, appreciate the small things your spouse does for you. For instance, leave thank you notes for them every now and then. Number 3, to illustrate. Misunderstanding can be highly destructive. To illustrate, if your spouse sees you with a friend of the opposite sex in a cafe, he might not understand why he hasn't been invited and demand an explanation. Explanation. এটার উপর যে সমস্ত লিঙ্কার্স আছে that is keep romance alive. That is to say, don't let your love life fall into routine. Number 2, namely, I have a very good reason for not trusting my ex, namely, he is a convicted felon. Number 3, in other words, don't be unsociable. In other words, go out and make some friends. Number 4, put differently. John has managed to get over Jane. Put differently, he's started seeing other women. Emphasizing. Number 1, as a matter of fact, I love sleeping with my pet pig. As a matter of fact, I can't fall asleep unless he is in my bed. Number 2, in fact, I told them not to invite Rachel to the party. In fact, I was the only person who saw what a party popper she really was. Actually, I think it would be a good idea to send her some flowers. Actually, you should get her 100 orchids. Indeed, he may be the best dressed man around. Indeed, he has a really good taste in fashion. Focusing and linking. Number one, as for often suggest disinterest or dislike the as for which I'm going to Janet's party at the weekend. As for Mary's, I think I'll pass. Number two, with respect to starting your own IT company may be the one of the best things you can do right now. With respect to opening a pet shop, it's hard to say the same thing. Regarding number three, start your day with making the most important phone calls. Regarding emails, you might put them off until later. Number four, with regard to handling complaints, you might want to keep in mind that your customers are always right. Number five, as regards working from home has many disadvantages. As regards disadvantages, it might be difficult to keep your cat off your keyboard. Talking of talking of cats, you can't trust them to keep you company when you need it. They are quite selfish creatures. Number seven, as far as concerned. As far as dogs are concerned, they might give you a chance to get up from your desk and get some exercise during the day. Conclusion, এটার উপরে যে সমস্ত লিঙ্কার্স আছে, in conclusion it may be said that pigs make the best pets. Number two, in brief, meeting my boss at the pub was an interesting experience. In brief, it was a disaster. In summary, it may not be the best idea to frequent the same pubs as your boss. Number four, to sum up, some people are better suited to working from home than others. Number five, all in all, you have to make sure both you and your customers are satisfied with your work. Correction, rather, I thought it was a good idea to get a parrot. Rather, it had always been my dream to get one. To be more precise, you might want to change a few things. To be more precise, I think you should start again from scratch. Time. At first, it wasn't a piece of cake to learn English. At first, I couldn't pronounce all the words correctly. Number two, then I couldn't spell all the words correctly. Number three, afterwards I had a hard time understanding the tenses. Number four, later I couldn't memorize phrasal verbs and idioms. Number five, in the meantime, I was getting some help from my English teacher. Number six, meanwhile, I was enjoying my Skype lessons more and more. এরপর ডিসমিজালের উপরে of what was said before, যা বলা হয়েছে তা ডিসমিজাল করতে বা ডিসমিস করতে এই লিঙ্কার্সগুলো ব্যবহৃত হয়. নাম্বার ওয়ান, anyway, I couldn't get my head around the passive voice. Anyway, I don't think it's important to use it all the time. Number two, anyhow, I've just decided to learn Russian next. Number three, at any rate, I don't want to become a simultaneous interpreter in 5 languages. Okay, thank you, learners. In the next video, I'll talk to you about something else.